Breaking right now, the House Republican Conference is set to meet any moment following Kevin McCarthy's ouster as the House Speaker. And former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum joins me. Okay, tell me what happens mechanically. They all go into this room.
This is the House annex.
Okay,
well, it's not annex, but it's a newer area of the.
So all the Republicans go into this room. So is there a procedure once who are in there?
Well, the conference chair, who runs the meeting, will gavel it down. Someone will speak, whether it's Kevin McCarthy or whether it's Steve. One member of the leadership will speak and sort of lay things out as, here's what we're going to do. We have to, Kevin will say he's going to run again. I don't know what will happen, but someone will get up and sort of direct it, and then members will just raise their hand and they'll want to come and talk, and it'll just be one member after another being recognized to come up, and it will be a very tough conference.
Are staff members allowed in there?
Usually just leadership staff, a limited number of leadership staffs, but members' personal staff are not allowed.
Food to keep them there?
They will be if this time of night. My guess is they'll bring sandwiches or something in the back to keep people hydrated and fed.
And it looks like an auditorium, so there's someone at the.
It's imagine like a hotel ballroom. That's pretty much what it looks like. It's nothing fancy. It's just an area where they have a bunch of chairs set out in theater style. So just rows of chairs, and you have your leaders up in the front.
Would you expect those 8 to be sort of like a stink bomb? They'll be in their own section.
I'd be curious to how many of them have the guts to show up. Some of them may decide they don't want to take the heat. I think that would be a pretty weak character move on their part. I think if you're going to do something like this, you've got to face the music, and I'm sure Matt Gaetz will relish the opportunity to do it. But some of the members, a couple of those members were sort of a surprise. You mentioned Nancy Mace earlier. Whether she's going to up there and admit, why she did it. I think most of them are going to make the case, as Matt Gaetz did when he left the chamber. It's over. I understand you're mad, but it's time to move on, and we've got to figure out a way to move forward, and it can't be with Kevin McCarthy. We've shown that. We're not changing our votes, and we need a new speaker. And there's going to be a huge amount of pushback on this, and as there was on the floor when you listen to the debate. But in the end,
well, so they say, okay, you do it. Is that how this works? Pretty much. How do they pick the person that's going to do it at this point?
That will be with the members themselves. Will be lobbying other members.
They'll pick me, pick me.
No. There'll be people going to look. I don't think anybody is jumping through. Going to be bursting through walls to take this job right now. Not given the situation that we see with these handful of folks who aren't happy with anything and I've set unrealistic expectations for what a small majority in one branch of government can accomplish. And I think a lot of folks are going to be hesitant to step into this, as I said, French Revolution guillotine type of situation. But members, people are already. I guarantee you, people have gone to Steve Scalise, and people have gone to Jim Jordan. People have gone to the head of the Republican Study Committee, who's Congressman Hearn. There are other folks. There are names. I'm hearing names already of people that are going to them saying, "You need to step up."
So this sort of is like the Iowa caucus, almost, where they're all running around trying to figure out which side who they're supporting.
Well,
a little bit.
No, well, the Iowa caucus, you have candidates who actually want to be president.
Well, nobody wants this job.
I'm not sure there's anybody. Jim Jordan said he doesn't want the job. Scalise doesn't want the job. Nobody
is. Is there any chance somebody would go outside, get a filler?
Is there a chance? Of course, there's a chance. There's always a chance that could happen. I don't think it will happen. It would be really unusual. And again, why would someone step into this quagmire that likely to be another short speakership, because you'll break expectations.
I'm just pulling this one out of my hat, but I could see someone like Newt Gingrich agreed to do it for 2 years. He may not be popular, he may not get it, but someone who might say, I'd like to do this for 2 years. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Because this really is a thankless job, especially with that narrow margin. You're going to spend the next year pretty miserable.
Yeah, I think this could be an opportunity. You talk about someone outside. I would never say that would be the case. But in this situation, where the likelihood of a career-ending removal and vacation of the speaker motion comes again from Matt Gaetz and his crew because you've disappointed them again, you're not going to see a lot of members get up there and want to take this on. So it might be someone from the outside.
Did it make any difference the motion to vacate went down to one member of Congress? Because that was a big debate, in January, whether it boiled down to one instead of, I think, 5. Because, I mean, there are 8 people who say no.
Do you notice that 90% of the media coverage of the group that is opposing Kevin McCarthy, that opposed Kevin McCarthy, was Matt Gaetz. It wasn't all these other guys out there doing media all over the place. It was him. So it is easier to find one person. If they all had to put their names, maybe in this case they could have gotten 5. But it's a lot easier for one person to be out there and take all the arrows because he wants to take them, because he's Trump in this regard. It doesn't matter what you say about him. He just, every bullet you shoot at Trump, it's like energizes him. It doesn't hurt him. I think Gaetz has the same type of personality. As long as you're paying attention to him and as long as he's getting attention, it doesn't matter if it's bad or good.
Were there rumors floating around say that he wants to be governor of Florida?
Yeah,
Does this advance his cause if he wants to be governor of Florida, or is this
certainly among the base? It certainly would, and I have no doubt that that's the reason. He even said on the floor, he's very happy to say that individual donors are giving him more money. He's out there asking them for money. He's building a political base. He's very upfront about it.
Is there a personal grudge between the two? I mean, Speaker McCarthy was here last night. He said it's a personal grudge, that it's not about policy. What's going on between the two?
I think Kevin McCarthy's been around a long time. He's made a lot of promises that he hasn't kept. Now, that's not atypical of a lot of politicians, but when you're in a leadership position and you make certain pledges, and I think that's what happened with Nancy Mace. I think there was a history there with Gaetz and with some of the other members, Andy Biggs. I think it is personal there. So you hear all these stories that Kevin has burned a lot of bridges, and when you have a 4-seat majority and you have folks who like to get attention, like Matt Gaetz does. You've set up a situation that's a toxic brew, and it came back to poison him and kill him.
I remember years ago interviewing Speaker Boehner, and I asked him if he liked the job. I don't know if we did it on camera or not. And he said it was like having a wheelbarrow full of frogs, 221 frogs or something. And you had to wheel the barrel across the House floor and keep all the frogs in the barrel. And that's what the job was like.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to be everyone talks about Nancy Pelosi and what a great job she does, and she did a great job. But remember, it's easier to keep Democrats together because, first off, this is what Democrats are all about. They're about government. This is their focal point. Yeah.
Let me say, we got some House lawmakers that are filing the chamber. Let's listen to them.
He voted for a CR that every Democrat voted for but one. We had hoped to have some consideration in that regard, but we didn't.
Congressman, speaking of bipartisanship, there's been some reporting that Republicans who are in the Problem Solvers caucus are considering leaving.
There's some anger there. I've been married 40 years. Just sleep on it overnight, let things cool down. We'll see.
Do you think the Problem
Solvers
could provide some sort of path forward at this point?
I think so too, but there's some anger right now after what happened today. So maybe we better give it a day of cooling down. But anyway, I want to see what's going on.
Yeah, sounds like you're supporting them. Thank you.
Well, one was talking.
Yeah, look, anyone thinks they're going to come back and solve this problem anytime soon is crazy. There is a lot of anger there. I think we're going to have a speaker pro tem for quite some time. This is not going to. You're not going to see. Like I said, you're not going to have people rushing forward to run for this. They're going to have to recruit people. Kevin's got to go through the stages of grief and figure out whether he wants to do this or not. This is going to take some time, and in the meantime, the House sits there and does nothing.
Not to mention the world watches. That's always my favorite. Senator Rick Santorum, thank you, sir.
You bet.
Coming up, more live footage from the Capitol. That when the record continues.
Everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same.